Welcome, everybody. It's Wednesday, April 10th. John Aravosis here with the Aravosis Report, coming to you live from Chicago. It says Washington, D.C., but I'm not. I'm normally Washington, D.C., but visiting mom in Chicago for another day and then heading to Asia tomorrow night, where I will be for 2 weeks, and then I will be back again. So anybody looking for me, I will not be doing the show for the next 2 weeks, but I will check in occasional with live updates and some lives and some, what was I going to say? Oh, some videos, some video, reportage, video blogging from the trip, which should be fun. I'm going to start in, Taipei, Taiwan for 2 hours, and then Singapore for 3 days, and then Indonesia. There you are. There you all are. All right, let me get TikTok rolling here, and then we will get rolling. 1 second, guys. Oops, I always forget to set this up on TikTok before we start, and I should, and I don't. Our goal. 1 second here. Hey guys, hey Linda, hey Marie. All right, 1 second here. I'm just looking. No new gifts. I like when they do the new gifts. They haven't done new gifts in a while. Hey, sick, sick. Oh, turn off my sound. I just heard that heart that Deemer put up. That's very funny. I had to turn off the sound on my computer. I didn't realize it was on. Sorry, I'm getting TikTok set up as we speak here. I'm not seeing anything new on TikTok, so we'll go for all the good, fun standbys that we like. Let me see. I think we should do that new one again. There is that new one that was recent that I like. The compass is kind of fun. Let's do that. All right. There we go. All right, I'm going live on TikTok. There we go. All right. Hey, guys. 1 sec. Let me get TikTok, mirror, swipe. Excellent. All right. We are set. Woo-woo. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. Shula. I don't know what that is, Gunther. Anyway, welcome, guys. Hey, Susan. Welcome, TikTokers, to my show, everybody. As always, we'll wait maybe half a minute for folks to arrive and then get rolling. I don't have a ton of news today, so we can see. Maybe we could go and do a little Discord afterwards, because there's not a ton, really, of news to update you on. I mean, there's news, but there's nothing kind of earth-shattering, I would argue. So, yeah, give a quick hello where you guys are coming from. Hey, Paul in Nova Scotia. Give a little kind of shout-out where you're all from. I actually am in Chicago at the moment, heading to Asia. Hey, Gothenburg. Hey, John, for the hearts. Thank you very much. Ah, that's interesting. Ulal is in, Ulal? I'm going to go with Ulal. Ulal is in Poland. Interesting. Scotland, UK. I guess there could be a Scotland, America. This is true. Hey, Elizabeth, thank you for the hearts. I am good, Linda. Just kind of getting my, prepared for my trip. Things are okay. I'm just like, I hate traveling. Like, I get very nervous packing and worrying about the weight of my suitcase. Yes, the hair got cut. The hair got cut a couple weeks ago. I just sort of washed it and went sideways. It does different things every day, so glad it looks good. Squirrely, appreciate it. Oh my. Anyway, thank you, Elizabeth, for the hat on TikTok. Oh my, guys, how are we? It's funny, these are just reading glasses from Costco, but my other pair of reading glasses broke, and I'd bought these a few years ago, thank you, Alan, and had them like in my room, and I pulled them out and I went, I like these. They're they're cool for reading glasses. I think they look like glasses, you know what I mean? Versus, reading glasses. So I was I'm very pleased with these glasses. I actually went online, found them on Amazon, and bought a few more. So I'm very excited. Thank you, Lotus. When you need reading glasses, you get excited about some that actually look decent, because I just like reading glasses are often very ugly. Thank you, Mustard. Oh, thank you, Critter. Anyway, also I grew up wearing glasses, so like I don't like wearing glasses because I had glasses forever, and then I got cataracts when I was like age 40 or 45, something ridiculously early. I got cataracts, 45 maybe, so I had to have cataract surgery, and it fixed my vision. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Mustard. Mustard again, or maybe Mustard, or Kevin, I'm not even sure who. Pedro, Timothy, thank you guys. But yeah, so I had cataract surgery, which then fixes your vision, which was great, but weird. Thank you, Derek, because all of a sudden you don't need glasses anymore, but then you do need reading glasses, depending. I needed them once you have the cataract surgery, so all of a sudden now I need glasses for reading, but I don't need them for distance, which is great. And hopefully it's getting a little worse. Hopefully it hangs in there. Thank you, Chazak. Thank you, Jorge. Yeah, there's not too much, Alyssa. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about Johnson today. Yep, there isn't too much news here. Hey, Big Hawk, thank you for the gift. Who else is that? Flower Lay. Who else we got? Jorge, Chaz, that guy. Actually, did they? Lotus, Jane. Exactly. Somebody was talking about having curly hair. Exactly. Curly hair, or mama. The fun thing, thank you, Marie. The fun thing with curly hair is exactly it does something different every time you get it cut. It does something different every season. It does something different every day. So, like, today my hair is behaving and looking cool. Tomorrow I'm flying. It'll probably be a disaster. It's just curly hair is fun. So, hey, Anthony in Ireland. What were you saying? Oh, your husband had cataract surgery at age 38. Wow. That is very young because mine, they didn't even know it was cataracts. I noticed a change in my vision. Like at age 45, I got cataracts. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Adventures. And I noticed that the color was off in one eye, meaning the color perception. And the colors were muted in one eye. And I could tell the difference. I went to the doctor and I even noticed the light was a little lower. And the number of tests I had to go to specialists, all sorts of horrific eye tests. Crazy, nasty, like putting a contact lens in your eye that has a wire coming off of it. That's like something out of a horror movie. Thank you, Burosaurus. Thank you, Macabre. And literally, I finally went to one last doctor who goes, "You've got a cataract in your eye." I'm like, "What do you mean I've got a cataract?" Yeah, so nobody had even thought of a cataract. Whereas when I was in France several years before for emergency eye surgery because I had a retinal tear, the French doctor saw the cataracts just like that. Like immediately, he spotted the cataracts in both eyes. I mentioned it to my doctors when I got back, and they said, "He's crazy. You don't have any cataracts." He even saw the one eye being bigger than the other. He goes, "This one, it's a bigger cataract. This one's still there. This is the eye that actually went bad first." The French doctor was younger and spotted the entire thing with his eyes. So anyway, enough of those stories. We're sharing glasses and stories. And do I fly first class when traveling? Never, but happy to. I can't afford to fly first class when I travel. But I would gladly fly first class when I travel if I could. No, I fly, coach. If I can afford business, I will, but business is very rarely affordable. On this flight to Asia, I'm flying economy plus or whatever it's called, premium economy, I think it's called, which is more, but at least it's a heck of a lot, it's a heck of a lot more comfortable, they say. So I'm hoping that's the case, Anyway, everyone's sharing all their trips now. Going to France in March. Woo-woo! Oh, in March. You mean next March? You're planning already. It's April. You mean you're planning in France in 11 months? Wow. Hey, Nick in Norway. That sounds fun. Sweden. Yeah, it's very common operation here, too, for cataracts and stuff. Yeah, very much so. Anyway, guys. Oh, business class, I love it. Business class is just too expensive, And even going to Asia here, it was twice the price to go premium economy, but the tickets weren't that bad. They're expensive. But thank you, Marcia. Anybody who's traveled internationally, it was like $1,000 round trip, and then it was $2,000 round trip if you... in Motion, there's a really neat button on your iPad. It's called Volume. Or your phone, and you hit it up when things are soft, and you push it down when things are loud. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And if you don't change your volume, you'll think somebody's screaming. Exactly. That was perfect, Callum. Thank you, Succeed. That was somebody I'd give 5 minutes. Exactly. That was a 5 minutes because you never know. Maybe they're having a bad day, but, right? Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Mike. Lots of gifts. Anyway, guys, all right. Sorry, we're just looking here. Your twin brother got cataracts when you were on 7 or 8. Oh, that's funny. Well, again, the problem is it's a really, like I said, people don't expect it in anybody who's not a senior. So, like, none of the doctors could figure out I had cataracts. They just, it took forever. But it was, I was glad it was only cataracts because, like, literally I'm seeing, like, a, color difference. It was crazy. It was weird. Cataracts are weird. Very weird. And the weirdest thing nobody ever tells you about cataract surgery is we're going to talk Ukraine, I swear to God, but we just started talking about other stuff here. With cataract surgery, your color perception changes because you get cataracts which, as you get older, and basically the lens of your eye changes. It can get cloudy, but it changes color. So as you get older, the lens, it's literally a lens. Think of a lens on a camera. The lens in your eye gets more yellow as you get older. Well, guess what that means? That means everything you see in the world gets more yellow. You don't realize it, but every color you see has got a little bit of a yellow tint to it. Well, let me just tell you, grass in your front yard looks beautiful if you've got that little bit of yellow. As soon as that little bit of yellow is removed, grass is suddenly not so pretty anymore. Thank you, Mike. And I was very shocked. It destroyed a lot of colors that I really enjoyed, and it kind of freaked me out for several months getting cataract surgery years ago, because no color is real. And the worst part is now you're thinking, okay, I'm seeing different colors, but I edit photos. Like I take a lot of amateur photography, and I was using photos online and posting them. And I'm thinking, like, when I'm editing my photos, I'm editing it for myself, but that doesn't mean it looks good for somebody else. Very weird stuff. Anyway, thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Marcia. I had an existential crisis over my cataracts and my color perception, I must say. Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you, Eli, for the gift. Thank you, Eva. So let's get rolling. Welcome, everybody. I am John Aravosis. This is my show. This is the Aravosis Report. I talk about Ukraine and the latest from the war there. We meet Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, U.S. I am leaving for Asia tomorrow night, so tomorrow night is my last show for 2 weeks. I will be here tomorrow night. It'll either be a full show or it'll be a hangout show. We'll decide. We may just hang out and talk, or we'll do the latest news. We'll kind of see how my day is going, preparing for the trip. But otherwise, I fly out tomorrow night to Asia for 2 weeks. Vacation, basically. Yeah, my nephew's getting married. I decided to do a sort of a destination wedding thing. So he's going to have the wedding in Bali, which should be a lot of fun. So I'm going to go and visit him. So it should be quite exciting. Anyway, so we can get rolling. I think that's about it. The way this goes, you guys know, I go through the latest news, and then after we're done going through the news, we'll open this up for Q&A. But again, I'm happy to entertain questions as we go on if I see them on the screen. And there we go. And please do keep the gifts coming. I've always tell folks, I do this for a living and I do it full time. I've been doing it since the war broke out in Ukraine, and this is what I do for a living. So your gifts literally pay the bills. Without your gifts, I can't pay the bills. So please do keep them coming. Just so you know, in my case, your gifts actually do make a big difference. So thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate them anyway, but they really do help. So thank you. All right, guys, let's get rolling. Today is day 805 of Vladimir Putin's 3-day special military operation. Thank you, Steve-O. Appreciate the thanks. Kharkiv attack. So the Russians have been attacking Kharkiv in northeastern Ukraine really badly for a few months now. Really harshly. Kharkiv is all the way up here. It is literally like, I don't even know if it's 25 kilometers, maybe 15 miles from the Russian border. This is all Russia here. Very close. Ukraine's second largest city of I think it's 1.5 million people. The Russians have been bombing the hell out of it, and really badly, doing it every day, killing a lot of people. Overnight, a child was killed, 3 others were injured in bombing. The Russians are using some new guided bombs, sort of bombs that they can control much more easily. And of course, big surprise, the Russians are using bombs that they've got better control over and better guidance. Where do the bombs keep hitting? Civilians. Because that's who the Russians target. And this has been known, if you ask anybody in the military, they will tell you the Russians routinely target civilians. It's part of the sort of psychological game they play in trying to break the will of the country, is killing civilians. It's bad. It's very bad. Civilized countries tend not to do that. Anyway, thank you, Just Scrolling, for the gift. Thank you. Who is it? Ahau for the lightning. Thank you. Marcia Critter. I'm just looking to make sure. Thank a number of you guys. Interestingly enough, Vlad had shown me a video yesterday that I cannot show you, but I can describe to you. They were going yesterday to buy, thank you, Sharon. They were going yesterday, and thank you, Just Scrolling, to buy the sheets, the fabric that they will be sewing to make the sheets, the blankets, and the pillowcases for the hospital that we're helping. Remember, we raised a lot of money to help Ukrainian hospital. Thank you, Just Scrolling and 4Piece, both for the gifts, and Sharon. And you guys actually very generously kicked in $1,300. Thank you, Just Scrolling. Again, you guys kicked in $1,300 to help us buy sheets, blankets, and pillowcases for this hospital in Ukraine that was in dire need. 100% of the money goes to the hospital. And actually, the way we're doing it is Vlad and company are buying the fabric to make the sheets, the blankets, the pillowcases themselves, because they will save half the money that way. So they'll basically be able to buy twice as much, which is great. Well, Vlad sends me a video yesterday. They're driving around to buy the fabric in Kharkiv. Thank you, Running. Thank you, Sharon. And just happened to be filming out the front of the vehicle because they're driving a little minivan. And the Russians bombed a building, apparently a strategic building. We're not allowed to share it. You're not allowed to share this kind of information because you don't want them to know what they hit and what they didn't hit. But Vlad said, they hit something real, so therefore I can't share the video. But quite literally, this bomb hit next to the road, 200 meters or 600 feet in front of where Vlad was. Just literally along the road in front of them, 200 meters, 600 feet away, the bomb went off. And you could see this building just blow up. Really freaky. And Vlad had told me that, I don't know if he did it during our live we did last weekend or not, but that it's bad. I mean, it's very bad, the bombing in Kharkiv. I think people even asked him during the live on the weekends we do when I'm in town, because I'm traveling the next 2 weekends because I'll be in Asia. But when I'm in town, on the weekends we do a special show Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern that Vlad often joins us, and it is exclusively for the paid monthly subscribers. So that's all of you with green names over on YouTube who are paying for the monthly subscription, and all of you with SNN next to your name, Ashley, Webb, Running, Timothy, etc. Martin. I do a special show to thank everybody on the weekends, and Vlad joins us, and I think it was this weekend, either I asked him or you guys asked him if he was keeping safe, and he basically said no. I mean, it's not safe at all, as they've realized being there. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Running. Which is really sad. I mean, this is where he's from. This is where Vlad is from. So it's really... I don't even know what that means, Jay Scrubs. Biden is not making money with Ukraine, and the EU is not making money. Yeah. I think that was probably worth a mute, Big Hawk. I think so. Yeah, it was borderline but the person sounded trolly. I would agree. Thank you, Vicky, for the starlight, for the gift. In any case, it was last weekend. Okay, thanks, Ash. That's what I thought. Yeah, because we asked him like, is it safe where you are? And we're thinking he's going to go, oh yeah, where I am is okay. And he goes, no. I mean, literally just said no. And he was like, it's not at all. And he had told me privately that, the amount of Russian bombing was just bad. Yeah. I mean, just really bad. Oh, did you? Oh, he did say it. He was scared. Yeah, Linda said he actually said in the broadcast that he was scared. Thank you, Way Ray. It's not really a new hairstyle. It's just the haircut from a couple weeks ago went a different direction today. So thank you. Glad you like it. I mean, it's got to be very scary, guys. Imagine, living in a country that you're getting bombed regularly. Well, I mean, Ace, let's not bring up the Israel-Palestinian thing because you know what? Israeli-Palestinians have been getting bombed for 75 years as well. So I prefer for people not to go there. By the way, I was going to say muting them for a few seconds is fine, Mod, Callum. That's exactly right. But I don't mind people bringing up the Middle East, but don't bring up stuff in a Israel versus Palestinian way because you're going to find that both of them have got a share of the blame. So I'm not a fan when people go, oh yeah, the Israelis kill civilians. Well, the Palestinians do too. And frankly, if you say Palestinians kill civilians, the Israelis do too. So, but let's be honest about it. All right, let's move on. So, U.S. General, actually, U.S.'s top commander in Europe, Christopher Cavoli, was speaking today at a congressional hearing and basically talking about how Ukraine's running out of ammunition. It was a little scary. Said that Ukraine will run out of ammunition and air defense interceptor missiles in fairly short order without further assistance from the U.S. He said that the Russians were firing 5 shells for every 1 that Ukraine fires, meaning 5 artillery shells. And he warned that it could increase to 10 Russian shells to every 1 Ukrainian shell in the coming weeks, which is very bad, and we know that. He said, Ukraine is really dependent this year on us, and without our support, they will not be able to prevail. Again, we know this, but, we're just going to keep, we're going to keep pushing this. Along those lines, so somebody had asked a question about Speaker Mike Johnson. So you guys know the MAGA Republicans in Congress have shut off all aid to Ukraine, and it is them. And I say this, it's funny whenever I bring this up because we always kind of get a Republican who gets upset and like denies it or something and gets, or thinks we're like, it's funny, sort of thinks we're somehow, I am criticizing them, but gets offended by it. And I'm always like, well, but Donald Trump called for all aid to Ukraine to be cut off proudly, right? Donald Trump supports Russia proudly in general. He doesn't support Ukraine in the war proudly. He wants all American money cut off proudly. And he told Republicans in Congress to cut it off proudly. And guess what they did? They proudly cut off the money to Ukraine. It's gone. American money's been cut off. It was cut off by MAGA Republicans in Congress. So like I'm always kind of blown away when Republicans get like kind of offended by that and go, oh, that's not fair to say. Well, it's just not even questionable, right? And at some point, either own it or speak up against your own party. But you're not allowed to be embarrassed of something that your party is very proud of doing. And Donald Trump is very proud of doing, and he runs your party. In any case, I bring this up because the Speaker Johnson, who is the Republican Speaker of the House, meaning the top Republican in the House of Representatives who runs the House of Representatives because Republicans have the majority in the House of Representatives, okay? He... the main guy, in a way, responsible for cutting off aid to Ukraine. He has been refusing to bring up the Ukrainian aid bill entirely, just refusing to bring it up. He's afraid of it for his job. Republicans only have like a 1-seat majority in the House of Representatives. Democrats control the United States Senate, and he knows they will try to kick him out of his job. The other Republicans, if he brings up, at least the other MAGA Republicans, if he brings up aid to Ukraine. This week, he was supposed to bring up aid to Ukraine this week. He said he would. He didn't. We were then told, it's not going to happen for a few weeks. Again, because he's afraid people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is this other Republican member of Congress who is very MAGA. She's one of the, I would say, top 2 MAGA members of Congress. She and Matt Gaetz from Florida. And she has said that if he brings up the bill, she's going to take him down and kick him out. He's no longer going to be Speaker. And she does have the power to at least attempt to do that and very likely do that. I mean, she could potentially do it. So he's holding up aid to Ukraine again. And, this is where we are. Ukraine is in limbo. Russia is very pleased with the Republicans right now for helping them in their war against a European country and against a democracy to turn it into a part of Russia. Basically, the Russians' goal is to make Ukraine part of Russia. And part of Russia's, autocracy. Basically, Russia's a dictatorship, and we are giving up on a democracy, a nascent democracy. It's got issues. By the way, guess what other country has corruption issues? Hello? Anybody seen America? Anybody seen our past couple presidents in terms of corruption? Got news for you. Democracy? I got news for you. Ukraine didn't violently overthrow its government. Guess who did, though? We tried it. We tried it on January 6th of just like a couple years ago. We tried to of course, it wasn't we, it was Donald Trump, and the MAGA Republicans tried to violently overthrow the government on January 6th. So, we should be casting stones very lightly, I would say, when it comes to suggesting that Ukraine, for example, doesn't deserve to be supported. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Running. Sorry, I didn't sort of see the gifts here, guys. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Opinionated. Crystals, Sharon. Just checking back, make sure I didn't sort of miss anybody here. All right, thank you, guys. Let's keep going here. So Johnson, the British Foreign Secretary, who's the foreign minister, the Secretary of State, the top guy for foreign policy, was visiting Washington, D.C. this week. His name is Cameron, Lord Cameron. I forget his name. Is his first name David? I always forget. Is he David Cameron? Do they go Lord Cameron? Was in Washington, D.C. this week, went down to Florida to meet with Trump, talked about Ukraine, talked about the future of NATO, talked about Gaza, and then he goes to Washington and tries to meet with Speaker Johnson to talk about, mind you, he's the British Foreign Secretary, he's the top foreign affairs official of the British government, and tries to meet with the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Johnson refused. Johnson's schedule was just too busy to let David Cameron come and meet with him for half an hour. mean, that's pretty bad. And there's two things going on there. Cameron had criticized Trump's attacks on democracy, had criticized Trump's basically defense of Russia and appeasement of Ukraine in the past. And I think Johnson was terrified of meeting with him. Absolutely terrified. Which is really unfortunate because I will say this. Biden gets on my nerves because I think Biden's very afraid of Putin when it comes to... It is David? Okay. I think Biden's very afraid of Putin when it comes to Ukraine. But, Speaker Johnson isn't exactly a profile in courage either. This guy cares more about his job than he does doing the right thing, especially because he's a MAGA Republican by convenience. He's actually a Reagan Republican, which is a little different. Reagan Republicans are actual conservatives. Thank you, Chazak. The MAGA guys, it's hard to explain what they are. Their politics aren't conservative. Their politics are just MAGA. They're a little bit authoritarian, right? Cult of personality. It's whatever the big guy says is what they believe, which is Trump in this case. But they're not traditional conservatives. Traditional conservatives are actually very populist, but even the populism is weird. It's authoritarian, cultist populist. It's not like anything that the populists might like they're in favor of, right? Thank you, Courtney. Anyway, it's very bad. It's very bad. So Johnson's afraid of losing his job and wouldn't meet with the foreign secretary. Hey, Bear Down, Arizona, thank you for the super chat. Been watching since we started. Wish I could give you more, but thank you for all you do. Normally watch non-live while at the gym. Oh, that's fun. Well, welcome live. I actually am live. As you know, I just read your question. Thank you for the gift. That's very nice of you. Yeah, it's always funny. We always get like twice the number of people over, not twice, but meaning equal number. Thank you, Donick. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, TBI as well. The overnight, the numbers double because like on TikTok, it's live and there's no backup. TikTok doesn't. I wish they would actually for a day or two, but they don't. They don't back up the lives. Whereas on YouTube, it saves it as a YouTube video. So it saves it forever. And we always get an equal number of people overnight. So in other words, however many watch the video when we're live, it's double that number by the next morning. So I'm always surprised the number of people who kind of show up overnight to watch. It's always interesting. I don't know what that means, Arctic. Pronounce the last name weird. Put a strong emphasis on the last syllable when you should emphasize the first syllable. I don't know what that... Whose name? Cameron? Who? I don't know who you mean. Tell me who you mean. I don't know what that means. Yeah. Not sure. But also, I'm American from Chicago. We say things the way we say things. Yeah, but Cameron's Cameron. I mean, that's how we say the name. Cameroon is how you'd say. Cameron? It's Cameron. Cameron? I do emphasize the first syllable. Cameron. That's what I say. Cameron. Cameron is the first syllable. Yeah, fascist, exactly. Fascist? Fascist? Kevin McCarthy, bite your tongue. Cameron? Yeah, Cameron. I accent the first syllable. Cameron. Otherwise, it would be Cameron. If it were like the French. Cameron. Right? Would be accenting the second syllable. Cameron, first syllable. That's how we pronounce that name in English. I have no idea how you guys pronounce it over in Britain. Anyway, and it's hard for you to tell me the best part of a Snickers bar exactly. The first cold bite is the best part of a Snickers bar. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's not working. Cameron? Or do you say it as two syllables? Cameron. We would say three syllables. Cameron. You know, this reminds me of a woman, girl, whatever I knew in graduate school. Cameron, that's what I'm saying. A girl we knew in graduate school who was from Kansas, and her name was Dorothy, which was funny. And it was just kind of funny because her name's Dorothy from Kansas, right? And, Wizard of Oz, Dorothy from the very famous American movie from the 1930s, 1939, I think. And she used to always get pissed at us because she's like, my name's not Dorothy. It's Dorothy, like three syllables. And all of the rest of us grew up with like Dorothy is like two syllables, more or less. It's like 2.5 at best. But I love the Dorothy, which is the way the grandmother does call her name. I'm like, Dorothy! But it always cracked me up. She got very upset about it. My name's Dorothy. And we were like, well, welcome to the rest of the country, because where I'm from, your name is Dorothy. A Scientologist? Are you a troll? because you are this close to leaving. I'm suspecting, because that was so out of left field. Mods, don't boot that person yet. But if they're some kind of nut job, feel free to. But give them a chance to prove they're not a nut job. But that question was so weird that I'm kind of suspecting you may be a troll. Yeah, Scientologists are a cult. So nope, not a big fan of them. All right, what else we got, guys? What else we got here? It's funny, we don't have a ton of news tonight, but we're already half an hour in because we're chatting, which is good actually. Ash pinned a comment, but I already lost it. It already scrolled down. Sorry, was there a... Don't know. Anyway, all right. Let's keep looking here. The UN says more than 600 Ukrainian citizens have been killed or injured in March, up 20% from February. In other words, the number of civilians getting injured or killed are increasing significantly by 20%. In Ukraine because of, well, I think it's the Russians may increase the number of attacks, but they've also basically these new guided bombs are causing a lot of problems, you know. What else we got here? A Russian Mi-24 helicopter crashed into the Black Sea off the coast of Crimea. So that was interesting. Crimea, I'll show you on the map, is Ukraine's province in the south that the Russians invaded and stole in 2014. This is Crimea down here. It's kind of the jewel of what Putin stole. Like, he controls all of this, but he really wants this. This is the territory that Biden is basically afraid of Putin getting back. Biden does not want Biden is afraid of Putin losing. Biden hasn't admitted this, but I'm telling you, he's afraid of the Ukrainians getting this back, because if they do, he's afraid, what will Putin do? Well, you know, Putin's going to do whatever you let him get away with. Basically, if you don't tell Putin exactly what's going to happen, right? If he uses nukes, which is what the whole concern is, then he might use them, because Putin's analysis is whether he would use nuclear weapons in Ukraine is what is the cost benefit, we say, right? Basically meaning, thank you, Lilia. I just saw that one over on over on TikTok. The analysis is always, and frankly, any foreign policy decision you make is always going to be based on the cost benefit. What's the cost? What's the negative? And what's the benefit? What's the positive? And if you're Putin or any leader, you're going to say, okay, if I use nuclear weapons in Ukraine, is it worth it? Do I get more out of it than I lose, right? And a big chunk of that is going to be, what is the NATO response going to be, right? Is the NATO response going to be something I can tolerate, or is the NATO response going to be something, if Putin were to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine, thank you, Danik, that is going to be so overwhelming that it's going to set Putin, back even farther? Like, it'll be a huge mistake. Well, that depends, doesn't it? It depends what NATO signals to Putin. It depends how clear Biden and others make it to Putin that there will be disastrous consequences if he uses a nuke in Ukraine, right? I worry that Biden may or may not have really given enough of a signal to Putin of what might happen next. I think I've, at least publicly, privately, who knows? Publicly, what we see from Biden, and I've said this before, he's kind of afraid of Putin. And he's certainly he's terrified of America going to war with Russia. He's terrified of anybody going to war with Russia, any of us, which nobody wants to go to war with Russia. I mean, nobody wants that, right? But a good way to start a war is to be afraid of going to war. Thank you, Ernie. It's the whole point of deterrence, is that basically you build up your military, preferably not to use it. You build up your military in order to scare the other guy into not attacking you. That's the idea. So that the other guy says, it's not worth attacking you because you've got too many weapons. You'll do too well if I attack you. Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, Maddie. But if the other guy, Putin, is thinking, if I attack and I use a nuke in Ukraine, and Biden is so terrified of escalation, and he's so terrified of a war between two nuclear states, America and Russia, maybe I can get away with actually doing this. Maybe I can get away with using the nuclear weapons. And America will react, but they won't react that big. Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, Maddie. Anyway. Thank you, Robin. I try to be spot on. It's very annoying. Anyway. All right. What else we got here? Let me see here. Berlin sent a new batch of military aid to Ukraine containing artillery shells, drones, and armored vehicles. Switzerland plans to allocate 5 billion Swiss francs or $5.5 billion. Thank you, Ernie. Very generous of you. Please keep the gifts coming, guys. I appreciate it. I do this for free. I always like to remind you. I don't like to remind you. I hate talking about money, but I do this for free, and I've been doing it full time. Your gifts pay the bills, so please do keep them coming. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Colin. I'm going to go with Colin. Is that Colin? I'm not sure. Oh, figures you're Irish. I'm guessing that's Irish with a name like, maybe not. Is the last name Neil? It's not O'Neill, but Colin Neil to me sounds Irish. And also any name I look at and I'm not sure how to pronounce, often it means Irish or Lithuanian. It is Irish. There you go. It often means Irish or Lithuanian for me. That I kind of go, uh-oh. If it's an uh-oh, it's Irish or Lithuanian. It's almost a guarantee. So yes, the Swiss are providing $5.5 billion or 5 billion Swiss francs to support Ukraine's economic development over the next 12 years or so. Also, the Swiss government confirmed that it is going to hold a global peace summit on the war in Ukraine when is it going to be? Did it say in June? I thought this was kind of interesting because the Swiss have said now that the Russians will not be invited, that this is not a peace negotiation. This is sort of all the powers that be that either agree with Ukraine or at least are in the middle, coming together to figure out what can be done. And what was interesting is the Swiss said specifically the Russians are not invited and will not be invited. And then the Russians, I love this, the Russians then turned around and said, we're not coming anyway. And it was like, well, we know you're not coming because you weren't invited. You know, I mean, it's sort of, you know what I mean? It's like you throw a party and you specifically don't invite somebody and they go, but I'm not coming anyway. And you're like, dude, you were never invited to my party, right? It's so Russian. It's just so Russian. Anyway, all right, that is it for the news. Our auctions just ended or they're about to end, so I'm not going to promote auctions tonight. I will try to get some new auction items up tomorrow before I leave. So that will hopefully be good. Thank you, Frank Thomas, as always. Frank Thomas had a very nice, generous super chat or super sticker, I think they're called on YouTube. And remember, guys, memberships are also subscriptions are also quite welcome. It's a great way of helping me or any creator really on TikTok or YouTube or anywhere else. Basically, it's a monthly subscription. But what's nice about it is, if you're able to get enough of them, it ends up becoming a good source of income so that you don't have to keep begging people for gifts and everything else, which is nice. And we do a weekend show, which I won't be doing this weekend, but normally for the subscribers, I do a show every Saturday morning that is exclusively for the subscribers, for the monthly subscribers, on TikTok and YouTube and Discord as well. And it's just us hanging out one-on-one, so to speak. Vlad will often join us from Ukraine, but because I'm going to Asia tomorrow night, I will not be doing those the next 2 weeks. And we will not be doing this show. We'll do the show tomorrow night. But then afterwards, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. I'm back the 26th. But we'll be doing the Saturday show the 27th. So in other words, the next 2 weeks are off, and then the Saturday after that are on. Did you win? Which one did you bid? I'm trying to remember, Max. What did you bid on? What did you bid? Just curious. Congratulations, but yes, I wasn't sure sort of what was what. I don't remember. I looked earlier. I don't remember what's what. Thank you, Adventures. I thought maybe you did that for Max winning the show. I am going to Singapore and then to Bali in Indonesia because my nephew's getting married, and the woman he's marrying is from Singapore. So I'm going to go there a few days first. It's going to be raining, I think, but what do you do? A few days first. I met her. She's lovely. So they're going to actually, I've been to Singapore, but I was only there for 24 hours and didn't do much. So they're going to show me around Singapore, which will be very cool. And we're going to eat. My nephew loves to eat, and she does too. And I do too. So we're going to eat a lot. I will be doing videos. I'll try to do sort of vacation videos, video blogging of the travel, which will be fun. And again, I'll try to get enough food stuff too to show you guys some of the food and everything. So it should be fun. And then Indonesia, which we're going to have the wedding in Indonesia on the beach. And then just sort of hang there for a week and a half, which will be quite lovely. So, yeah, audio, I'm just not sure I like Julia, but I'm not sure I want anybody covering my lives. It's just kind of weird because I've got to give them access to the site and my password. It's just, in general, it's just, it's not, I thought about it. It's not a bad idea getting someone to do it. I'm just not sure, I'm just not sure I want to hand the. Also, the other problem is TikTok has been so weird about banning and warnings and everything else. I'm a little nervous about handing it over to someone else because, I have to censor myself enough because of TikTok. And it's horrible, the censorship on TikTok, to be honest, that I'm a little nervous about giving it to someone else, for that reason. No, I'm not wearing anything too fancy to the wedding. My nephew said, it's going to be on the beach. It's going to be 90 degrees, humid. So he said, you don't have to, he goes, wear shorts. I said, good. So I have a nice pair of shorts. I don't own linen, and I'm not wearing linen because linen just wrinkled. Can you imagine packing linen for an international trip, right? No, I've got a nice pair of shorts and a button-down short-sleeve shirt. So, gonna wear that. Honestly, it's 90. My mother was like, "You can't wear shorts." I was like, "Mom, it's 90 degrees and humid on a beach in the sun. If you think I'm wearing pants, you're crazy. There is no way in hell I would be wearing pants on the beach." So, no, I've owned like a linen jacket once that I got in Greece. But yeah, it's very humid and very hot. I mean, it's like 30 Celsius, I think, 31, 32. It's like 90 degrees or so. It's quite warm and humid. The beach will be better, but nonetheless, I ain't wearing pants. If he told me I could wear shorts, I'm wearing shorts on the beach. I am not wearing pants. The flight is pretty hideous. It's like 15 hours for the first leg, and then the second leg, like 15 hours to Taiwan, 2 hours in Taiwan, and then 4 hours to Singapore. So it's quite the trek. Yeah. Yeah, the Singapore airport is supposed to be really cool. Anthony sent me videos before of the airport. It's supposed to be really pretty. Actually, on the way back, because, we're flying from Indonesia, my flight's out of Singapore. Like it's so complicated that I'm going to actually, now that I think about it, I probably screwed that one up. I probably didn't have to do round trip from Singapore. On the way back, I'm going to fly to Singapore the day before, spend the night there in the airport, and that way, because the airport's supposed to be amazing, that way I'm going to go explore the airport for the night and have dinner and whatever, take videos for you guys, and then I'll be able to fly the next day. I didn't think of that. I didn't look and see if I could have flown back directly from Indonesia to, not directly, but rather than going to Singapore for the day. That was kind of stupid. I wasn't quite thinking when I bought my round-trip ticket of breaking it apart. I should have broken it apart, but what do you do? Aeroflot. I've flown Aeroflot before. It was terrifying. Terrifying? Aeroflot was absolutely terrifying. It was like flying a tin. Is Aeroflot still even around? Aeroflot maybe still is, was the official airline of the Soviet Union. And maybe still is Russia's official airline, but it was just terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I don't know if they dropped their engines, but like we were halfway through. It just was a very crummy airline. It is alive, oof. But when you fly flying to Russia and then within Russia was Aeroflot. So we flew Aeroflot from Paris to Moscow, and then from Moscow to Leningrad we flew Aeroflot as well. And with Moscow to Leningrad, we got like maybe I don't know if the flight was hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't know what it was, maybe a little longer. But we got halfway there. From Moscow to Leningrad, which is now St. Petersburg. And all of a sudden, the flight started going down. And we all noticed. It was like we were going down. And we kept going down. And we started to see the ground. Like the ground was getting closer. And we're all wondering, what the hell is going on? Everyone on the plane was kind of like, what is this? And all of a sudden, the engine kicks in really strong and we start rising again. And everything was fine. And we're just like, and of course, not a word from the captain because this is communism, God forbid, there is no power to the people. It was very weird. Not a thing to even say, not even a thing, nothing. Just terrifying. Anyway. All right, guys, aftershave. I'm not a big aftershave guy. I don't like scents because I'm allergic to scents. So I don't really, I don't do aftershave for that reason because I don't want smelly things on my face. Anyway, no power to the engine either, exactly. To power to the people or the engine. It was very Aeroflot. Oh, the Soviet Union. It was a fascinating trip. 10 days in the Soviet Union. Just fascinating. As bad as people say. It was a dictatorship. People were terrified. What's interesting to see in the Soviet Union was just how scared the people are or were. People would want to talk to you, but they're afraid to. And they would I had one guy on a bus, a public bus, and you're all crowded together in Moscow, and everyone's looking, because we were obviously American, or at least Western, because all of their clothes are bland and dark and bland, but not dark as in fun, right? It was just bland. And we're there, and it's Moscow. I mean, it's literally, I think the temperature was dropping to 0 Fahrenheit, which, maybe was it negative 20 Celsius? I forget. Something like that. It was really cold, right? So I brought my ski jacket, of course, because what am I going to wear, right? So I had my ski jacket, and my ski jacket, of course, is red, white, and blue, bright colors. It was for skiing. I mean, it's a Western ski jacket. It's fun. And in Moscow, you just stand out. I mean, everyone can tell who you are, that you're a Westerner, right? And I'm on the bus, and we're on this bus, totally packed in Moscow. This is 1984, mind you, February of 1984. And we're on this bus packed in. And there is a guy behind me I don't see. He's 6 foot something, so 2 meters tall, blonde Russian. I mean, just your perfect Russian, wearing the fur hat, the fur chapka, whatever, the fur Russian hat, and literally in my ear, I don't even know the guy's there. He goes, does Mr. Reagan want a nuclear war? And I was like, what? The guy, I mean, which again, they weren't supposed to talk to us. But literally, he said, so he asked me, he goes, does Mr. Reagan want a nuclear war? And it was really interesting. So we had this discussion, and I tried to, I was not a big fan of Russia at the time. I mean, still not, but I was trying to have a reasonable discussion with the guy so as not to scare him, because also I did not think Reagan wanted nuclear war. Reagan wanted to beat the Soviet Union, but nuclear war, he understood we'd be in trouble if the Russians fired nukes at us. So no, we had a nice discussion, but just everything about it though, this guy was having to whisper to me. He had to get literally next to me on the bus and whisper in my ear because he wasn't allowed to speak to me. He would get in trouble. And that happened a lot. I mean, that happened a lot in Russia, in the Soviet Russia. But anyway, Sword for Justice. I'm scrolling up. I'm seeing something about a taffeta. I have no idea what there's. Okay, I don't know what your question. You've got too much you wrote. I don't know where your question is. I don't see a question. I see lots of comments. Can you write it again? Yeah, I don't see a question. Sorry. Write it again if you would. Sasha's here. She's kind of. Oh no, she's. Oh, hello. You're fine. Hello. Thank you, Tiger, I should say. Tiger, what a beautiful gift and a very nice gift over on TikTok. That's always one of my favorites because the galaxy is very pretty. Sasha is, well, you guys can see at least. Hello, you're okay. Hi. That's okay. Stay there. We're not playing. No. Just relax. Okay. There. The TikTokers got it. For YouTube, it's a little harder. I mean, well, I can try. Hold on. For YouTube, I can show you. I've got my my cell phone camera. There she is. Sasha. Hello. Sorry. I don't want to annoy. Hello. That's okay. Good girl. There you go. Here. She gets a little annoyed because I think she knows I'm teasing her at this point. So she's kind of like, okay, please stop that. Please stop calling me. Sword just did again. All right. I do not see a question here. I'm sorry. You said check my question. And then I scrolled up and I see taffeta for wrinkles. Oh, maybe it is getting filtered. I don't know why it would, but maybe. Yeah, I'm not seeing a question. Yeah, the suitcase thing, I know. Well, she's staying with my sister. She's not going to be happy about that. She gets very upset. Thank you, Tarad. I appreciate you for renewing your subscription. Thank you for joining us over on TikTok. Russia Civil War? I mean, who knows? I mean, we've got the sort of the Russian Legion and a couple other different groups that are fighting against the Russian military. No news in the last couple of weeks. They had a press conference maybe 3 weeks ago, the three big groups, and sort of silence afterwards. And I was talking about this the other day. It's possible they got destroyed. It's possible they're still fighting. It's possible they snuck away, which is what they've done before. They kind of go in, they attack, and then they kind of dissolve away and then come back a couple months later and attack again. So hard to say. I will say the fact that we haven't had any news that they got destroyed makes me think they didn't get destroyed, because we probably would have heard about it. But, mom's too old to go to Asia. Yeah. The flight would kill her. So, right above Mike's comment on Trump near the bottom. All right, hold on. I'm looking at... Oh, thank you, Hannah, for the gift. Sorry, still trying to find this YouTube... Wait, okay. No, there is none there. Thank you, Bryce. No, I've got Mike's comment about Trump, and then I see Sword for Justice. I just did. Sword for Justice, check my question. Mike, I don't see how one could. Don't use taffeta. Peeper, not Piper. Peter, neither appeasement. You get it? Like, this is going on forever now, guys. Brits are asking about Johnson. Yeah, there's literally no question from you there. Yeah, Chris isn't seeing it either. I don't know if it got filtered or what. I don't quite get it. Thank you, Tarad. Very sweet of you. I appreciate that. Very nice of you for the gift on TikTok. Thank you. Yes, none of us see your question, Sword. So, I don't know. Maybe it's getting filtered out. It could be too many characters. It could also be getting filtered out. My sister should do the lives. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Danik, for the sushi. Appreciate it. Watching any news shows? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, I used to watch the daily news all the time. I mean, I watch CNN all the time. So that's my news show, typically. New shows. I've been watching Suits, but I'm almost done with that. Haven't started anything new. Hey, Murdoch McCrory. Is that a real name? Or is that just like a fun Scottish name you made up? Because it sounds totally cool if it's a real name. Murdoch McCrory from Scotland. Maybe I said that. I don't know if I made that sound. Who knows how I made that sound. Hey, Jorge, thank you for the bear. We were the lucky ones on Hulu. I don't know that. I'm at my mom's, BSP, visiting for a couple days. So thus the reason you're seeing the 1970s Chicago background. Ripley, don't know. Chicago PD, I've never watched. I've actually got to watch, what's that the body one that's like sci-fi or something that everyone's been telling me about. So I've got to watch that. Patrick Stewart. Yeah, I do like Patrick Stewart. The body one, right, on Netflix, whatever it is. It's some sci-fi thing that everyone's talking about, so I'm going to watch that. I think it's the one that started with the Chinese scene from the Cultural Revolution with the guy getting three-body problem. There you go. Yep. So I'm going to watch it. I've got that downloaded for my trip. I'm trying to think what else. I've got a number of things downloaded for my trip. So we'll see. For the flight. I'm still trying to debate sort of how to do the flight because, like, the flight's at, like, midnight. And I was thinking about this and I was Googling about jet lag to Asia because the flight's at midnight. If that's noon, the time I'm arriving, right? I'm sorry, it's noon over there. So like, I don't really want to sleep noon, in the afternoon. For Asia time, I kind of want to wait till the evening, but that would mean like trying to wait 6 hours to sleep. And I'm not sure I can hold off until 6 a.m. to fall asleep. 6 a.m. Chicago time, you know what I mean? So we'll see. I know Shogun. I did download Shogun, or a number of episodes of Shogun, the new one. The old one was very good, so we're gonna try that out. It's my sister's kid who's gonna be there, but she's not going because it's just too expensive for them. I think they've got she and her husband flying there and back and staying for two people is just a lot of money. So I'm going, and one of his other brothers is going, and some of the friends. Ripley. Okay, I'll try to remember. I don't even know if I don't have a pen in front of me. I'll try to remember Ripley. I've sort of filled my iPad with videos, so it's full now, so that I can sort of check out stuff when I'm on the plane to see like what's interesting and what isn't. You know what I mean? But anyway, Ripley is good. Ripley's Netflix. Okay, I'll check it out. Ooh, but your mom is not going because mom is 94, so mom cannot fly for 22 hours. So thank you, Courtney. Well, I'll be here tomorrow night. But then I won't be doing the show for 2 weeks, but I'll still do videos on TikTok and YouTube. So that I will be doing. Your YouTube app just crashed? Dun, dun, dun. Look out. All right, Arctic, you asked a question. Let's see if you asked a question. The way this is going lately, let's see. Oh, okay, there it is there. How did the old GOP guard allow the MAGAs flip them? Oh, how did the old GOP guard, traditional conservatives allow the MAGA people to flip the messaging on Russia? The GOP used to be war hawks during the Cold War, i.e. McCarthy era. Now the GOP is complicit, friendly to Russia. I have no idea. I mean, honestly, fascism? I mean, literally, I think it, the question is, Republicans traditionally were anti-Russia and pro-freedom. And now they couldn't be bigger friends of Russia, and they couldn't be bigger enemies of freedom in many ways, certainly in terms of abroad. No, actually, that's not true. Domestic, too. I mean, domestic, too. Domestic was always weird. Domestic, I would not call Republicans big defenders of the Bill of Rights, depends domestically. But internationally, defending freedom against bad dictators and things, yeah, that was the certainly fascist, dictators like the Russians or whatever, right? Putin. Thank you, Nick. Who is that? Nicolate. What freaks me out with Trump is that, and I'm trying to say this in a way that our Chinese overlords will not be offended, is that the willingness of everyone to overlook everything he's done, the willingness of everyone to believe every lie he says. And I don't just mean to overlook his lies, but I mean believe the lies. Believe that, red is white and black is brown, and black is blue. I mean, just just every crazy lie, like the Russia stuff, like the Ukraine stuff. He got them to believe that, COVID wasn't a big deal, He didn't really do it, but Republicans then went on a tear about vaccines, and they all started believing vaccines weren't real, and now they don't believe in vaccines anymore, which is insane. With RFK Jr. promoting a lot of that stuff. But a lot of the weird, because dear leader says so, we accept it. Dear leader says we no longer like democracy. Okay. Dear leader says we love our enemy. Okay. Dear leader says we no longer the idea of Republicans not liking NATO? That's insane. Dear leader says we no longer like NATO. We like NATO's enemy. Right? I mean, that's, he's able to do it because this is the same question we and Europeans and historians and everybody else asked about Europe in the 1930s. I mean, we asked, thank you, Brad. I'll get to yours in a second, Brad. Thank you for the question. But we ask ourselves and say, how did European countries let that happen? How did they let that bad man come to power? And then once he came to power, how did they let him over the years start doing worse and worse things, that bad man in Germany? Right? Why didn't anybody stop him? Right? Why didn't the people stand up? Didn't they see what he was doing? Didn't they see he was, clamping down on civil liberties and picking out minorities he didn't like and taking rights away from people? Right? And kind of promoting violence? Didn't they just, why didn't they stand up to him? Was Germany just a bad place with bad people, and Italy just and Spain just made up of bad people? Was that why? And all of a sudden, your question is the same question now. Why is it that Americans would simply roll over and let Trump do what he wants to do? Why is it that Republicans would just change their minds on so many issues that they claim to care about and they don't care about anymore, right? Why is it Republicans no longer care about God, which they don't in terms of Donald Trump? They no longer care about morality when it comes to Donald Trump. They don't care about the Ten Commandments when it comes to Donald Trump, right? Suddenly it doesn't matter anymore. So they don't care about God. They don't care about freedom, which were like faith and freedom were two of their big issues. When it comes to Trump, all of a sudden it doesn't matter anymore. Dear leader says it's okay to be immoral. Okay, so now it doesn't matter anymore, right? I mean, the fact that religious conservatives would embrace Trump with everything he's done is weird. But not weird if you look at it in the context of Europe in the 1930s. And you say, how could they embrace a leader that seems to just be so, the opposite of what those countries stood for? Well, guess what? So, I mean, that's my answer is there is, to quote Sylvia Plath, hopefully our overlords at TikTok don't mind quoting famous poetry. every woman loves a fascist, except in this case, maybe it's every person loves a fascist. There's something inside of people that, unfortunately, a lot of people, they really like to be told what to do. And they really like to be told who to hate. And if Dear Leader tells them what to do, who to hate, and what to believe, they'll believe it. If Dear Leader tells you we're no longer at war with East Asia, right? Or we've always been at war with East Asia, you'll believe it. You won't say, well, no, yesterday we weren't at war with East Asia. No. Dear Leader says we've always been at war with East Asia. Oh, okay. Then I guess we've always been at war with East Asia. All right. That's an allusion to 1984, the book 1984. So no, that's the answer is really scary. I don't like Loki. I've watched Thor. The Thor movies are great. I find the Loki TV show to be incredibly boring. I tried several episodes and felt like I just felt it was very poorly written and dragged out. It was like, let's try to make it a TV show. And like he was in their little prison and I got bored to death. Yeah. So thank you, Flower Lady. We haven't seen the wave in a while. The whale in a while. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Sorry, Brad had a super chat question. Did you feel safe in the USSR in 1984? I would have been scared of getting detained and used as a pawn. Not back then. Back then, there wasn't a risk, I would say. Being an American, no. The perception was, they didn't want to cause trouble, even though relations were so bad. Thank you, Vicky. Relations were so bad. I remember my parents didn't say, "Are you crazy? Don't go." It was considered an awful dictatorship, but one that was safe for us to go to. Because, if anything, because we were Americans, mind you, Ronald Reagan. What do you think Ronald Reagan would have done if I got kidnapped, right? I mean, Reagan wouldn't put up with the stuff the Russians are doing, right? Reagan, imagine the Russians kidnap some American journalists and everybody else like they're doing now. Reagan would have, I can only imagine what Reagan would have done, but it wouldn't have been pretty. So no, there was literally no fear. I'm surprising in a way, because looking back at it, again, I'm also kind of amazed that my parents were like, okay, letting 19-year-old me go to the USSR in 1984, which was, again, kind of a scary time in relations between the two countries. I'm kind of blown away they let me go to Europe at all to study abroad, because I was studying abroad in France for the year when I went to the USSR. And I'm always still kind of blown away, like, how could you let me go at 19? If I had a kid, I'd be like, 19 years old, you're going away to Europe for a year? I don't think so, right? And then you want to go to the Soviet, it's like going to North Korea, I don't think so. Thank you, Pam Pam, for the heart. No, Reagan would have done a lot, yeah, Oops, sorry, scroll to the bottom again here. All right, Sword, you're trying again. I think you're using a keyword that we've got blocked, Sword. That's my guess. Is what you probably have done. About tear gas. Thank you, BSP. Appreciate that. I'm scrolling up again just to see. Let me see again. Has to get right above Mike talking about bodies. All right, let me see here. Well, your name's green too, which makes it easy to see. Mike's comment on Trump near the bottom. We already saw Mike's comment on Trump. Yeah, no, that's exactly, yeah. So Arctic, I think I answered. I mean, to some degree, which is, there's no explanation as to why Republicans would be okay with being pro-Putin and anti-Ukraine. There's no explanation at all. No explanation. Ukrainochka says Odessa has been under missile attack for 12 hours already from the Russians. Ugh, that's sad. That's sad. Yeah, Montoya, you'd be surprised what 35 years of working in foreign policy and international relations and having a law degree and a master's in foreign service from Georgetown and working at the United Nations and everything else makes me very misinformed about foreign policy. What's your background? Sorry. Sometimes I have to do that when they go, you're very misinformed. Really, tell me why I'm misinformed. By the way, that was a troll. Also because I was just telling you about my experiences in Russia and the Soviet Union, so how am I misinformed about my own experiences, right? I'm just telling you my experiences. Yeah, Sword, I'm still not seeing anything here. I keep scrolling up, and I've got I'm going through 10,000 things and not seeing anything. If anybody else sees Sword's question, repost it for me over on no one else is seeing it either. Thank you, Crystals. Thank you, Cracker. Just checking out more gifts here. Thank you, Zach, for the rose. Sorry, Pam Pam. I did get the Pam Pam. By the way, you may be using a keyword that we've got banned. We had to ban some words. It's entirely possible. Yeah, there's nothing from you here. You've got some keyword that we've got banned. Yep. Or, don't write in caps. You might have too many words in there as well. The glasses are new, even though they're old. I did lose weight as well. So it's a combination. Somebody's up with the glasses. Thank you, Blue Ariel. They're Costco reading glasses, but my old reading glasses broke, and I had these in my room. I bought them 2 years ago because anybody who needs reading glasses knows you need 10 of them around the house because you lose them. So I just got the new reading glasses, and I got my hair cut a few weeks ago, and I let it go a different direction today just for fun. So. Thank you, Marie. We are still trying. Poor Sword for Justice is still trying to ask a question, one word at a time. Yeah, is still trying to ask a question over on YouTube, and YouTube is somehow censoring him automatically. We don't quite know why. Although it still makes me wonder whether there's a key word in there. Except the word tear gas, the rest of you are adding, which is working fine. But I like them. They're fun. I was very surprised because, like I said, I tried them on and I went, oh, these are really nice reading glasses because they look like glasses, which I like. They're kind of, and also with the black, I like it. It's almost a very New York, it's a cool New York look, kind of like the black and the black. Not intentionally for the show today, but, nonetheless. Yeah, can you go over to TikTok to ask it? People are asking if you're on TikTok. Very weird. It's and literally Sword for Justice is able to post lots of other points, but his big question isn't getting Steve Martin. That's true, actually. That's funny you say that. Yeah, because I can think of that. Steve Martin was the gray hair, and he would do the black and stuff. Yeah, that's true. No, I like it with, like I said, with the black shirt and the white T-shirt. I'm kind of I like this now. It's not a bad little look. Anyway, but they are fun. I mean, like I said, the Costco glasses. As soon as I realized, I went and found them on TikTok and bought them. I went and found them on Amazon and bought more of them because they're fun. Like I said, they're good. So I've got more on deck just in case. So, Harry Potter. Why can't Ukraine? Okay. Oh, you're putting your one word at a time. Zappo. Why can't Ukraine? Okay, but do you now see that only a couple words came through? You've got Zappo question mark is one line, and another line says John Aravosis, why can't Ukraine? The rest of it didn't post. Ukraine hit the fuel depot? I don't know which fuel depot which one was that though? There have been many. A New York look in Chicago, exactly. Woo woo. My fashion style? Oh God, I don't think I have a fashion style. I don't think so. I've always liked Italian because Italians basically, the clothes fit me, which is nice because I have a hard time as an American finding clothes that fit me because I'm not large. And I'm not really small, but I'm not large. Italy was the first place I went to where it was oh my God, clothes fit. Pants fit. I can wear pants. We call them pants, trousers for the rest of you in, the Europe. But I could buy pants and the legs fit. I don't have to get them turned up, and jackets fit. Everything fits. Here in America, I'm even though I'm not a small guy, I'm small relatively compared to a lot of Americans. Yeah, boy, nothing's getting through there. Chris says, my grandfather was a member of the royal family in Germany in World War II, sent in troops. Oh, the bad guy sent in troops. Opie said, don't listen to this guy. And the bad guy put a hit out on him and his entire family, they had to run. Oh, wow. That's scary. Now? I don't know what now means. That's funny. Anyway, I'm 5'10", 5'9.5". Well, getting shorter every year, but I forget. Is it 177? Maybe. I used to know in centimeters. Maybe 177. I think. I used to know. I could ask. Well, I can't ask my phone right now because it's busy with you guys. But like 5'9.5" ish. I think it's 177. I think it's 177. I think that's my height for Europeans. What's I mean? It's normal. It's for a Greek. It's pretty good. For everybody else, it's normal. It's not tall, right? In America, tall would be 6 feet, which is like 2 meters or a little bit less than 2 meters, maybe, right? Would be what I consider a nice height. That would be nice, but that's like this much, maybe this much taller than me. 6 feet. We're trying to do the comparison for Europeans here. Sword. Now there's nothing coming up from Sword. Yeah, I'm sorry about this. I don't know why. Anyway, what else, guys? American ladies want a 6 foot tall man. I mean, 6 feet is nice. 2 meters is 6 feet. Yeah, 6 feet is nice though. It's a nice, it's a nice height. My height's okay, but 6 feet is kind of a fun, being that tall. I've always thought it would be fun. So, 6'2" is nice too. Yep. Getting taller can be a little difficult, I would think. Like once you get that tall, it's impressive. But I'll see guys that tall, and I'm kind of like, like, oh my God, Do Brits do? I always forget Brits do feet and inches. Do you? I know it's very confusing to me. Yeah, 5'10" is an average height for an American. Like I'm not short, but I'm not tall. Although for Americans, I kind of feel like Americans might be a little closer to 5'11", little bit more, but 6'5", geez. When all the men are tall, yeah. 6'1's nice though. Anyway, what else we got? Mom's finishing dinner inside. Oh boy, excuse me, guys. The dog had me up all night again. This time, she wasn't getting sick, at least. This time, she just wasn't feeling well, and she was panting the whole time. And every 2 minutes, she would shift positions in the bed, and I was like, oh my God. But I don't know whether she thought it was raining or what it was. It was absolute disaster. So the second night in a row that I didn't sleep. Maybe this is good, though, because in a way, I'll be so messed up by the time I get to Asia. I'll be able to adjust better, because I always have a hard time with she may know I'm going away. I don't think she knows yet. Although now, because the suitcases are still sitting out. They've been sitting out, but your ex-husband is 6'5". Jesus. Okay, that's pretty tall. I don't know. We didn't have any sort of anything for dinner, so they're making some kind of chicken with paprika and God knows what. So, probably chicken with rice or something simple but good. So, sorry, I know I'm making you yawn. Sorry. Anyway, the dog doesn't know the suitcase, but it's been sitting there. When will Ukraine get air to force support from the U.S.? God only knows, because, again, the Republicans have killed it. And honestly, Biden, I don't know what Biden's problem is. I do know Biden's problem. Biden thinks if he works privately with the Republicans and doesn't publicly criticize them, there's a better chance of getting aid passed. So that's his big plan. So he's not talking about it, and Americans are forgetting about Ukraine. It's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. I mean, you guys know this anyway, but it's absolute disaster. The DeSantis boots. Oh God, that's funny. That's true. The funny boots were with the foot sticking up like this. License is 518. That's very funny. That's very cute. 518. Yeah, it would be 12 plus 6. Yeah. 518. That's cute. 6'3". 6'3" is nice though. I think being tall is fun. 6'6" starts to get a little crazy. I don't know who that is, Bush. No idea who that. I don't even know who that is. So I wouldn't know what happened to him. Who is that? Yes, love. We try to. We have a different crowd here. What am I on Discord? Just my last name, Aravosis. Just type in Aravosis. Try to enter. I'm launching Discord right now. Try to enter. Send me the message on Discord before we go right now, and I can try to pull it up. I'm gonna start there. Okay, my Discord is going. If you can try to send it to me. Oops, I'm gonna pull up my browser again. Oop, where is this? Hang on, trying to find my. There it is. There it is. Do I like sports? I'm not really a sports fan. Not really. I mean, I've enjoyed sort of individual sports more. Like I like skiing. I haven't been skiing in a while, but I do like skiing. But sports, I've never been a super fan of, to be honest. Favorite job of all time? I don't know. Thank you, user 336. I mean, thank you, Super Hornet. I mean, my favorite job has been working on my own. I've been working on my own since 1997, and I've loved it because I was sort of an early adopter to the internet, and very much an early adopter to the internet. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Super Hornet and user. Oh, suddenly we're getting gifts on TikTok. Thank you, guys. I'm not even doing my my give me gifts rant. So thank you all for the gifts. I appreciate that. But so I very early on, like in 1994, I was asking political friends questions about politics because I was new in politics, relatively new, maybe not that new, but political organizing and things, and was asking them about questions about political organizing because I was the one who knew the internet, and I was saying this internet thing's going to be big. We can use it for political organizing. We can use it to connect people around the world. I'm telling you, this is huge. And my political friends who knew politics didn't know the technology though, so they were like, "What do you mean?" Anyway, I finally went on my own in 1997. I was doing a lot of internet stuff at Children's Defense Fund in Washington, D.C., and then went on my own in 1997 to help other organizations use the internet for politics because there was nowhere you could do it full time. No organization had like an internet person full time. So I went on my own and started doing consulting, and it kind of went from there. But I've done tons of things, as even this is part of that, really. I've been working on my own doing everything sort of adjacent to the internet most of the time since then. And it's been the most fun. Because I just love it. I mean, I find the internet fascinating. The whole concept of us all sitting here from around the world, and just hanging out, talking. And the fact that, we feel like a community. I mean, people tell me they kind of miss when they're not with us. And that the fact that, all of you coming together is fun is fascinating to me, So anyway, yeah. So this, I would say, of all the jobs, I mean, a lot of things. Working on Capitol Hill in the Senate was fascinating, but this is still the most fun in some ways. Anyway, I'm gonna go in a minute. Let me see. Nope. Sword has still not sent me a question. I'm looking here. Otherwise, I'm gonna go shortly, guys. It's 6:20. We've been an hour and 20. 1:20 a.m. in Sweden. I know, Linda. See, Linda in Sweden is now wondering about your question as well. So none of us can go to bed until we get your question. Yes, the haircut was a couple weeks ago, but literally when I washed my hair today, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with it, and instead of going back, I went and seems to have worked at the length my hair is right now. Well, I'm on Discord, but all I've got here is Zerpachi and Max's. Unless Sword put it under Trump. Nope, I've got... Hang on here. Hang on. No. Yango's got a question, which I will save and come back to. There's nothing to see over on Discord. I'm there. All I've got is Zerpachi and Max Trex. What else? What am I checking, Linda? There's nothing else there. He's not there yet. Yeah. Oh, what Sword's? If I can find his name, I can try to find him. Sorry, guys. We're trying to help somebody. Yeah, there were no screaming goats on the hill. Ah! All right. Let me do a quick. I could do a quick search for the name Sword and see if that's your name over here. Hang on a second. Server set. I forget where it is now. Is it under server settings? I think so. Membership, maybe? It's a long time. Members. I haven't looked up people in a while on here. Hang on. I'm going to try Sword. Nope. I've got Jason Firesword. Nope. I don't even have anybody named Sword on here. Yeah, if you were to tell me his name, I could try to find him. Via friend, not in the Discord channels. Okay, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I mean, it adds me. I don't accept friends though, so that's probably not going to help either. Because everyone was friending me and it was getting confusing, so I wasn't Rimless eyeglasses, not in a very long time. Those were like popular back in, I want to say, the 1980s or something. I tried those, or whenever it was. I mean, these are just for reading. Anyway, I kind of like the black ones. I think they're kind of fun for reading. I think they kind of have a style about them that's kind of fun. I know I feel bad here, but I mean, I'm about to call it quits, guys. Sword, I'm not getting the question here. Thorben, I mean, I'm with you, Thorn. I don't get it. All right, Ash, we'll see you. Yeah, I'm gonna go soon in a second anyway here. Thanks, Jen. Yeah, I like them. They're fun. Like I said, they're Costco glass. I mean, they're not Costco. They're whatever that brand is. You know, they're one of the big Foster Grant or whatever it is. But they're like cheap $10 sunglasses. I mean, glasses, reading glasses, but they're really pretty. They're nice. Like, they're nice reading glasses, which is a rare thing, you know? Messenger and YouTube, I have no idea where to find me on what Messenger is, but YouTube, yes. John Aravosis DC. Messenger, I'm not sure what that would be necessarily. I'll do a quick recap. We'll do a quick recap while we wait for Sword. Oh, there he is. It's the same with some numbers they added. Okay, I don't know what that means. Message request. Could this be 7 Ghost? Is that you? Nope. Wave to 7. Tell him to post in Ukraine chat. Oh, that's true. Go to the Ukraine chat and post. Just send me a message in the Ukraine chat. That's probably the best way to try at this point. Yeah, it's not sending me a friendship thing, although I don't know whether I accept friends because I had too many people. Like, everyone that came on was trying to friend, and I was just getting request, and it got kind of crazy after a while. So I didn't want to do it. I think we're out of luck, Sword. I think you need to just how do I join you on Discord? Oh God. Okay, let's try this. Hold on. I am going to send Sword for Justice hold on here. 1 second, guys. We're going to send him my Linktree, my Discord link. And this way you can join the... Oh, hey, Terry. Yeah, I did get yours, of course. That's the link for my Discord community. Go there, accept. You have to do the README, which makes you click a little thing. So you got to accept it's all free, but you got to accept all these different things, and then you're a member. I don't know what that means, my group link. I have no idea what that means. Typically, we just give people the link I just posted. Sorry, guys. I don't know Discord more than, or go to Discord and look for Aravosis, but that should be the link that takes you to my community. That is the link. You know what I mean? Click that link, and it's going to ask you if you want to join the community. It should. Good night, Marie. All right, let me do a quick summary while Sword is trying to figure this out, and otherwise we're going to give up and try it tomorrow. Thank you, Sean, for the gift. Today is day 805 of Vladimir Putin's special 3-day military operation. Kharkiv attacks. I was talking about all the attacks on Kharkiv. The Russians are really going after Ukraine's city in the northeast, doing a lot of it's been horrific for the last couple months now. But Ukraine will run out of ammunition and air defense interceptor missiles in fairly short order without further assistance from the U.S. This, according to U.S.'s top general, our commander in Europe. House Speaker Johnson the Republican Speaker of the House refused to meet with Lord Cameron, the British Foreign Secretary, who was visiting in Washington this week. The United Nations says more than 600 Ukrainian civilians have been killed or injured in March, up 20% from February. A Russian military helicopter crashed into the Black Sea off the coast of Crimea. We are hoping Ukraine had a hand in that. Asked about Trump's alleged comments about that Ukraine... Oh, no, never mind. This was part of the Cameron thing. Berlin sent a new batch of military aid to Ukraine containing artillery shells, drones, and armored vehicles. Switzerland plans to allocate 5 billion Swiss francs, or $5.5 billion, to support Ukraine's economic development and reconstruction through 2036. The Swiss government confirmed that it will be hosting a global peace summit for Ukraine in June. And that's it, actually. We didn't have a lot of news. We ended up talking for an hour about the news, or an hour and a half, but there wasn't a lot of news. That was it for the news, really. All right, guys. Exactly. Give me your bank code and passwords, exactly. All right. Justice. We need justice for Sword for Justice. Sorry. If you can figure out how to join my Discord community, you can send me a message or just go to the Ukraine group. But I don't quite understand. I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to find the Ukraine group and send you that, except that you're going to have to go to the README first. Well, I'll send you to our README first. Okay, I'm going to copy this link. All right. This is the README that you typically would have to go to. That you'd have to go to accept joining our thing. I know the foster grant. Is that me behind the foster grants? I do. I like these glasses. They're fun. I'm liking these now. All right, guys. Thanks, Caldrogo. Sword for Justice. Callum is asking your Discord name, and he says he can message you if that. Well, he should just give it. I can message him if he messages me, I think, but I don't know his Discord name. He hasn't told us that yet. All right, guys. I am going to be going very shortly here. Justice for Sword for Justice, exactly. All right, guys. Have a good night. I am still in Chicago. I'm leaving tomorrow night for Asia, and then back in 2 weeks. So, thank you, user. I know I like them. They're fun. I'm liking. I don't normally like to wear glasses, but I mean, I wear them to read. Like, I can read the screen much better with them because I grew up wearing glasses, so I hate glasses. Like, anybody who grew up with glasses, not a fan, but they're fun. Yeah, I like them. Anyway, yeah, the README is always the first. It should be Arctic. Yeah. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go. Sword, keep trying over on Discord. I check Discord every day anyway. Even when I'm in Asia, I'll check in on Discord anyway, guys. And I will be posting video. Well, I'll be here tomorrow night. My privacy settings don't allow anybody to sort of friend me. You should be able to message me. Everyone can message me, I think, in the forum. Everyone's able to message me in the forum. Or, again, just go to the Ukraine section and send a message to, at me. At Aravosis or whatever it is. All right, guys, I'm going. Have a good night. All right, I'm going to go see what Mom's doing with dinner. All right, good night, all. Thank you. Oops, let me pull this.